What up, familia? It's your favorite Puerto Rican Brooklyn Philly, and I'm back with another message. I feel compelled to pull a message, right? Three of Cups. Some type of celebration. I don't know. For some reason, the dog in the background is striking me. How he's looking the other way. And for some reason, I mean, you see her in the middle, she looks happy, right? Three of Cups seems to be about celebration. But these two women seem to be involved with one another. And the banter I'm hearing, interesting, I don't speak like that necessarily, seems to be between them. And wow, I see a little heart necklace in her face, and she seems excited and elated to be there. However, there's something about the dog looking away that seems to kind of signal to me that the loyalty doesn't lie with her. He looks displeased, as if he knows something or he's intuitively sensing something that she's not. For some reason, I'm getting that it's her house, her dog. They're over her place of residence. Yet the banter is between them two and not with her. Two of Coins fell out. I heard people pleasing. Right? And he's, the fairies are like elated about it. Like he's excited, almost energized, or, feels really good about being able to be useful and in this manner, right? And even being able to handle multiple requests at one time. Confirmation, yes. Is there, there seems to be something about maybe this is your personality. Maybe people tend to view you in this way. And that's why maybe then here the loyalty, it's almost like you're being dismissed. I don't know why it feels like being used. Even look at this. This dog is looking at us like, right? That's what I heard, right? This person is like with the hand and the money there, like, I'm about to tip you. Yeah, here it goes. This person is asking. This person is asking. These two people in the background are standing up. I don't know if they're waiting on you as well. This is another waiter back here, a server. And they're with like their hands out, as if expecting something. And no one seems to be calling on them, interestingly enough. Maybe at the workforce, you tend to be more popular. You tend to be the one that everybody calls on. You seem to get most of the attention. But remember, I did hear people pleaser. And then this card just flew out. Oh, wow, the High Priestess. The fox. All of the animals seem to be popping out. There's something about the animal kingdom being, oh, wow, I just saw like the ravens or the crows on her arm, up her arm. There's, and holding up a mirror. So now I'm reading this as your intuition, right? And now I'm reading this as this is your external, your conscious, this is your subconscious, and this is your waking life, right? Like juggling the two or juggling between the two. This cat seems to be leaping at the reflection of the moon. There's two cats, actually. And then there's this fox looking at us. Very similar. Well, no, this dog is looking perplexed. This fox is looking pretty serious, I just heard down in the dumps. Let's pull some cards, right? I'm hearing let's pull some cards. Let's get some clarifiers as to what spirit is possibly trying to tell us with these, right? Because here I'm getting just happy to be there in the midst. Here I'm getting happy to be needed this way and pulled. And then here, I mean, it's not that she seems depressed or pensitive, I just heard. Patiently waiting, right? The mirror, right? For you to see something in the mirror, for you to recognize a reflection. Now the graffiti, my throat wanted to close up, right? There's a small candle flame burning, flickering, the moon, reflection in the puddle of water. The cat being distracted by the moon. Trust the signs, follow the guidance. Yeah, there's some internal guidance that is trying to tell you something, right? Yeah, paying attention to guidance, universe speaking clearly, following your intuition, messages being received. And this seems to be addressing both your personal life and your work life. And there seems to be, I don't know why, accepting bare minimum. Look at this. Speak up. Expressing needs, defending yourself, courage to confront, your voice matters, right? As opposed to just being pulled, right? And there's something about, sorry about the camera, you know, I don't think he's fronting, right? I don't think this Two of Coins, this individual, I think he earnestly is pleased to do this, right? He does become energized by, you know, being a mover and a shaker and being able to handle multiple tasks. But there's something about it not being appreciated, it being taken for granted, maybe being underpaid, undervalued, right? I don't know. Typically, this card would read that, look, that people are so pleased that they're ready to tip you. But for some reason now, right, it's only 2 coins, like chum change. Here, once again, is just, you know, really earnestly being happy to be in the midst of like company and friends, quote unquote, I'm hearing. But not really understanding that although you're giving or you're putting all your heart into the situation, right? The loyalty or the dedication or the commitment is not equal, is not on equal par, I heard, on up to par, on equal footing. Now the fairies as above, so below, but then it almost feels like this two of coins, right? Like this juggling back and forth. Or now I'm hearing the fairy is even trying to, right? Although you're not saying it, the fairy is trying to like almost like now double dutch. Like, when do I jump in? Or like, okay, my turn. Can I get the attention? Trying to attract their attention, but they're into each other and not into you. And it's like the dog is showing you, the fairy is showing you, trust the signs, follow the guidance, speak up, right? There's something about this waiter in the back, right? Having their hands open, like almost saying, well, I'm here, I can help too, or oh, look, and the heart is broken. I didn't see that till just now. There's a heartbreak there, right? And I just noticed that too. These bubbles in the background. People are talking, right? Other people are pushing their agendas, asking their requests, expressing their heartache and pains. Why aren't you? Brand new. Fresh beginnings, reinventing yourself, new ventures, watch me. Yeah, she didn't look depressed or forlorn, I heard. You know what I mean? This high priestess is, I'm hearing, in the trenches, right? She's where she feels most comfortable, right? You know, which now I'm seeing it not in this position of, I don't know why I just heard servitude, because her position is of servitude too, but it's in a different form. There's something about subconsciously, this is who you really are. This is what you really like to do. This is what you really want to embark upon. Provide. Maybe you're interested in maybe doing tarot, or I'm hearing Reiki, or a counseling, or street ministry. I'm hearing now more in the on the front lines in regards to, yeah, because this neighborhood is not, you know, yachts and things, you know, country clubs, or even, you know, at bougie little tea parties with people who are not even really paying attention to you. You know, she seems very comfortable here amongst the what's the phrase? The wow, I just heard vagabonds, the orphans, the the ones who can't speak for themselves, the ones who keep things hidden. Now I'm hearing Zootopia 2. That's that new kids movie that came out. Is it Zootopia? Wasn't it with Zootopia where there's the fox, right? And how the fox gets this bad rep. of being like this sneaky little fox that's conniving, right? And not appreciated for, I'm hearing his cunningness, her cunningness. There's very beautiful attributes and characteristics as well to the fox. Being sly as a fox is actually a positive thing. And holding up the mirror to the rest of society to say, almost as if she's saying, you're judging me here in this environment. Yet take a mirror and look at yourself. I'm actually a reflection, and or these voiceless, right? Because speak up are a reflection or a byproduct of your actions, whoever the your are. And you're here as this high priestess, I'm hearing, to bring about something new. Here, the people are, interestingly enough, are shadow figures. We only see their silhouettes and we see bubbles with no actual wordings. We can't really, and whatever they're speaking is causing heartache. And I'm seeing with this lightning bolt dissension, I'm hearing, and possibly gossip, like ... right? Here, this crowd is happy. They're clapping, they're cheering. They're actually excited about this new, confirmation venture. Excuse me. And what's so beautiful about this too is that you can't even see this individual's face. This individual, kind of like I said, this high priestess being the subconscious aspect of yourself, right? The intuitive nature of yourself isn't concerned about being seen, like here, or receiving, the acknowledgement necessarily in that fashion, right? They seem to be more preoccupied with the venture at hand, right? And it also says reinventing yourself, right? Brand new. I'm hearing, what's your brand? I'm hearing, let me reintroduce myself. And it's reintroduce, right? Not making a new, trying to be something new that I never was. It's like, yeah, it's the subconscious, the shadow aspects that would normally be shunned and dismissed and maybe frowned upon because of the environment or the background or the history, is being actually highlighted in such a way that it is, and what I'm hearing is possibly you thought that it wouldn't be accepted. But it's, I'm hearing, yes, your story becomes your glory. The very thing that maybe you thought you needed to suppress, or the shadow, or that you thought were the shadow aspects of yourself, right? Are the very things that become the what specifically propels you into this next level that you're about to embark upon. Ooh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Tell us more. Ooh, that was fast. Yeah, look at this. I don't know, I just heard, we are the world. We are the children. And look, each woman represented here is unique and authentic within and of herself. And it is her being her that then collectively is adding value to the whole. They're not uniformly blending in. dressing alike, acting alike, doing everything culturally alike. It is exactly their irrespective or their distinctive natures, their distinctive backgrounds, I'm hearing, religions, cultures that are weaving this new world. And I'm hearing this is the era we're stepping into. This is what, collectively we should, not just should, but we are working towards. If you're listening to this video, if you're here under the sound of my voice, if you clicked on here, you're a part of this community. This message is for you. You are ready, right? And again, look at the animals. For some of you, literally, you may be working literally, not just figuratively or metaphorically, with animals, right? With Gaia, with the earth, with nature. But I'm hearing it more as your intuition is going to be so on fleek that is going to be as the way, how animals don't seem to question, right? The fish doesn't seem to question, why am I swimming? It just swims, right? The animals seem to know, how to be in herds and packs, and when to hunt and when to rest. And they seem to intuitively just follow their instincts, their animalistic instincts, we would say. Where we tend to repress or suppress or people please or whatever those other things that we do, right? Not listen necessarily to the signs and to our intuition, but the animals seem to know. Confirmation, excuse me. And I'm hearing leaping, soaring, transforming, climbing, elevating, stretching, leaping. To weave a new tapestry, one that it is conscious and accepting of our authenticity, right? I just heard, fuck the melting pot. I just heard it just like that, right? If we all try to melt together, then we lose who we are. And there's honor, there's privilege, there's prestige, there's beauty, there's a necessity for our individual uniqueness. It makes the tapestry so much more colorful, so much more flavorful, so much more knowledgeable, so much more rich. We learn so much more from one another when we allow each one of us to bring forth and share our individual natures and gifts. Yeah. The tower is falling on the traditional structured ways of thinking, of being, of acting. This was built on sinking sand, I'm hearing. It will crumble. It will no longer stand. Yeah. What's so beautiful about this card, when I recall it in the author's perspective and their interpretation of their card, was that this individual purposely is walking by the same individuals that wounded him and hurt him, in the hopes that based on his integrity and character. And I'm surmising and probably even, throwing in my own. It's just, I distinctly remember something about this person, in the hopes that he may win one, right? Show one of them that this way, maybe this structure, right? Right? Because here they're mocking him. They beat him up, maybe possibly for being different. We're here, we're embracing the differences. We're encouraging it. We're creating a world that is that permits it, that requires it. I just got an image of the young people who, oh God, what is that religion? With all respect, not Jehovah Witnesses, it's the other ones. It's usually you see young white males. They have on like a little blazer. I don't think it's Jesuits. I don't know why I just thought that. With all respect, honestly, from my heart. But one thing that always amazed us who live in these type of environments and neighborhoods was the beauty of, and that's why I think no one really ever in our neighborhoods messed with them. There was a certain amount of respect that they already, their presence ascertained. There was something about the beauty of how they would dare to come into these neighborhoods and talk to individuals who were quote unquote categorized or stigmatized with possibly being abusive and doing this, right? But not them. They till this day, here it is, 2026, I still see those young men coming around, sharing their word, right? And if I'm not mistaken, they're sharing Jesus and love. Their understanding of it, right? And look at this rose. Yeah, and I just heard now Tupac's poem, May You Rest in Peace, Brother. Wow, this is the second time he's come up in the last couple of readings. Rest in peace, my brother. But, Ashe, the rose that grew in concrete, right? There's something about, there's beauty in all spaces. If we just look around and allow it. And although these over here may still be mocking him, if you can see this young lady's face, she's a little astonished. You can tell it's like she's questioning it, almost to say, why would you walk back around here? But I'm hearing that's how it happens, right? That's how the little seed gets planted that eventually gives way and form to this beautiful rose. And I'm hearing this is something that many of you already have done over and over again, right? And not that I'm encouraging you to go get hurt anywhere, but there's something about your character, your integrity, your lifestyle, your resilience that is being witnessed, right? I just heard, is my living in vain? No, of course not. I can't sing, guys, and my throat is still raspy. And they're saying pull cards on that. I'm gonna pull. Let's see. Oh wow, this is so beautiful. How many minutes up? I'm 29. Okay, I'm gonna be wrapping this up soon. I don't want it to be too long. Spirit. Ooh, that flew out. Bounce back. Right? After this Nine of Wands, yeah, the bounce back. I'm hearing core now. Shout out, hey, core. Philly, 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 where I am from, right? It's all about the comeback, 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 right? Resilience after setbacks, recovering quickly, determination to rise again. Can't keep me down. Now here, ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Yeah, this type of attitude, this type of love, this type of resilience, this type of authenticity, this type of unity, this type of cooperation, this labor of love is hard to keep down. You can't keep it down, right? Man, it's like Prego is in there. Red flags, warning signs, ignored intuition, potential trouble. You knew better. And there's something about these individuals knew better. And as astonished as her face is, there's something about the red flags were there. And I'm pausing a little bit because I'm asking Spirit, innately, because this card has hit me differently lately, because it is warning of, to me, of a person holding back their emotions, right? It's talking to me about a conditioning through this type of architectural structuring, this systemic, high-rise mentality that almost inoculates, I'm hearing, love. That makes one feel they have to hold back their feelings or hold back on sharing. I keep thinking of when someone passed, right? When you hear that in from people now, you say, I want my flowers while I'm still alive. Don't wait till I die to give me my flowers, or I'm hearing now, when certain individuals are conditioned to, oh, nah, you a punk if you giving flowers, or you a wuss, or you whooped, or, you a simp. I think that's the way the younger people say it now, right? Yeah, that's the way they say simping. And that's the red flag. If you hear yourself saying any messages like that, if you hear yourself in some way, denying yourself the vulnerability of, and then isn't this the column, the road? Yeah, about speaking up, right? And failure to do so causes heartache and pain unnecessarily. Meeting, appointment, deadline, call, booked, busy, productivity high, full schedule, no time to waste, success on the calendar. Yeah, again, this authenticity, your story, your background, the very thing that, trigger warning, I'm hearing, that you were ashamed of, whether it's your familial background, your own upbringing, your economic class or status, or even ethnicity, or this is your glory. This is what's going to make you shine like never before. Or like you always did, but you didn't know because you was too scared to just allow it and let it out, right? The fact that, yeah, I just heard Biggie. Oh, man. Rest in peace, brother. Ashe. I got a story to tell, right? Your story is going to have you booked busy. People are going to line up. They're going to want to meet with you and schedule appointments with you to hear from you, whether it's your story directly or as a result of your story, based on your experiences, is giving you a depth of wisdom that now people are going to be magnetized to in whatever leadership role that you choose to embark upon now. And now I'm thinking of all of the other readings where Spirit kept reiterating over and over again that if you're going to proclaim yourself, if you're going to answer to the calling of becoming a leader, any type of leader, in any way, whether it's at home, in a marriage or a partnership, in a community setting, at a job, the career space, whatever, the oh God, help me, Spirit. The clarion call is clear. With much power comes much responsibility. Nothing less than integrity and character is expected. The shepherd is that oversees the sheep is responsible for the sheep, and it must be taken seriously. Any closing messages, Spirit? Closing messages. Thank you so much for such a beautiful, and I'm honored to be reading for whoever I'm reading for. I'm honored to be a part of this with you. I'm honored that Spirit has used me as a conduit, as a vehicle to pass this message to you, right? To confirm it for many of you. Justice. Yes, I just heard no justice, no peace. And once again, look at the animals, bees. And it's interesting that the two bees, right? Well, now I'm hearing they're stingers, right? Trying to sting each other. Interesting. It was a car accident. They're like furious with one another. They definitely seem to be of different ethnicities. But there's I earlier in the news I heard of a dog that was being praised for being able to detect the bacteria or something that kills the bees, and how he's being very helpful, and they're training many other dogs to do the same so that we can save the bees. There's something about your presence. That's why it's so critical. That's why they just had me spin that whole thing again about having integrity and character and authenticity and you know, not being ashamed of getting down in the trenches. That's why they had me bring up those young guys who come into these neighborhoods, about this man who dares to walk back through where he was initially attacked at, in hopes of gaining one. There's something about that type of character, that and that type of resilience and that type of love and that type of yearning for justice that is going to be necessary to help individuals who don't understand they're at a point of extinction, I'm hearing, or in danger of that, right? And I just heard, I wonder if the bees know that these dogs are helping them, right? Interesting. Confirmation, yes, justice, balance, right? Yeah, your spirit is able to resolve, is able to, I'm hearing, you know, instead of infuriate them, de-escalate, there you go. Mediate, yes, right? Allow for resolutions to come forth, right? Yes, Spirit, thank you. Yes, look, healing, yes, right? Because this tower is falling, right? This old system has to crumble. This old mental way of this ideology, this way of operating has to crumble. And after it crumbles, you will be here to help pull those out of the rubble, right? People will be disoriented. People will feel like they're in despair. And they're going to need you. You're like earth angels. Look, the tree of life offering, saying there is still hope, there is still life. We can rebuild. We can begin again. We can build this world. It is possible. I just got the Woodstock hippies. Yeah, right? Right? When I just thought of those times, I just thought of the civil rights movement and the war in Vietnam and I don't know, a people that was just very conscious or very high too. But no, very conscious, right? And look at her face. But look at her period. Let me see if the camera, she looks disheveled and tired, right? Almost like she wants to smack them, right? Like, here you go with your little hippie song. And look at that rose again, right? Here he was hiding it and not showing it. Here it was growing out of concrete, right? And now here it is. It's in his pocket, the pocket where it would be in front of the heart. And he's pouring it out in music, right? Singing it out. Where? In an old train, in a train station. You know, now I'm thinking of like the train stations in New York, right? Where you see this a lot. Yeah, I'm thinking about Times Square now. With what? The pigeons. I don't know how I did that. But yeah, right? Who was, usually you disregard pigeons. You disrespect them. You think they're some dirty birds. And no, look, he's chilling with the pigeons, showing love, sharing his gift. Yes. Right? To individuals who, again, if I could just reach one, right? Plant that seed, right? Oh, that's beautiful, Spirit. That's so beautiful. And now we're going to clarify them and close out. Mirror, mirror. Yeah. We want to mirror to others, right? But first it begins with what we talked about earlier, facing ourselves, right? Looking at our subconscious, at the shadow aspects of ourselves. Facing yourself and others, reflective relationships, self-awareness. What you see is you. And that has been pivotal and key in my growth and in my most recent, I want to say that awakening, night darkness, night of the soul. What do they call that? Whatever. Where I, it was so eye-opening to me when I began to see that the relationships I would find myself in, whether they were platonic, career-oriented, familial, or even romantic, were actually mirrors of me. That changed the game for me dramatically. Right? And that would have fallen over here on justice. That's what it's going to take. These two individuals understanding, and instead of trying to sting each other, that they're mirroring one another. Right? You have to understand that 9 times out of 10, what you don't like in Joe is what you see in yourself, and vice versa. And that the only difference is the symptoms, right? The root issue are very similar, but the way we show it and act them out may be the only differences. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. Hopeless romantic, believing in fairy tales, idealizing love, constantly waiting, forever dreaming. Interesting. So if Spirit is telling us to understand that we mirror relationships, possibly to understand that we need to look at that aspect as well, right? That if we stay in romanticizing things and idealizing love, then can we ever then really achieve it, right? No, we can't, because this fell on the star, right? Real love, I'm hearing, takes this. This is real love. It's commitment. It's I show up for you. When times get tough, I don't get going. I'm there to give you that helping hand. I'm not sitting at home looking at Clark Gable movies and romanticizing and idealizing fairy tales of, castles and horses. No, I'm out here doing the work, right? Very similar to him. Very similar to him. Very similar to her. In the trenches, in doing what needs to be done. That's real love. I'm searching for that real love, Yes. And lastly, situationships. Yeah. Look at that. Unclear boundaries, mixed signals, more than friends, less than lovers. What are we? Confirmation. And that one fell over. What was I like? This one. The Knight of Cups, right? Which in some tarot decks, right, can be read as fuck boys, right? They just want to la 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 la. What Kevin Hart said, open your hand, bring it back, and just slide. Girls go wild, right? Not her. She looked ticked off about that, right? No, right? It's important that we establish clear boundaries. Giving me mixed signals is not cool. I don't want to wonder if we're more than friends and less than lovers, and what are we? If I have to wonder what are we, whether it's a friendship, family member, at a job, wherever, right? No, we should have clear understanding and nothing less. And if we can't even get to that point and talk about that, then what are we doing? Right? Yeah, beloved, that seems to be the message. That is so beautiful. I think that is it. I was sitting here to see if I had my little deck of affirmations to close out with some. Yeah, I'm going to close out with at least 3 of the little wish craft cards. Hold on, Spirit says shuffle. I haven't shuffled these. And I don't think it could be any clearer. I think that message was very clear. That's it. It's clear. It was pretty straightforward. Right? What messages do you want to leave us with, Spirit? What affirmations would you like to close this message? Please and thank you. This one. I am loved and protected. Shield of crystals. The lotus flower, right? What is the lotus flower? I mean, come on now. It grows from the mud, where the ickiest of places, the darkest of places, and turns out to be this beautiful lotus flower, right? After it comes all the way up. Yeah, this one keeps calling to me. Look at this beautiful rainbow. I love to have beauty in my life. Dance the rainbow. One more, Spirit, to close this out. Thank you. Oh, wow. Look at this. All of them seem to be so beautifully aligned together, like cotton candies, right? I can give good things to myself and others. Bake magic cookies. Right? Bake magic cookies. Spirit is saying, in case you want a screenshot, I love to have beauty in my life. I am loved and protected. I can give good things to myself and others. And that is the message, beloved. I hope it was helpful to you. And I'm encouraged. Again, I'm honored to have read for you. If you would like to leave, I would love to hear if you had any responses in the comments, and I welcome you back. Look forward to it, actually. Until next time, beloved. Ashe, amen, and amen.